You know, as a prepper and as a gardener, I really value plants that are perennials, you know, vegetables and fruit that come back year after year with hardly any work and give you an abundant harvest. I call that my infinity garden. And in my infinity garden, I have asparagus, potato onions, sunchokes, and I count garlic as semi-infinity since I only have to plant cloves in the fall from this year's harvest to have more garlic the next year. And for my fruit, I have grapes that I make for juice that I can have all year long. Raspberries are both in my garden and wild. And of course, rhubarb. And our peach tree, which has a lot of peaches so far this year. My Asian pear, 2 apple trees, which I caged to deter the deer, and my recovering plum tree. I also have heart nuts, a type of English walnut, and my volunteer black walnut that must have been the result of a squirrel planting and forgetting a nut. Hey resilient citizens, this is Prepper Potpourri here. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell icon so you don't miss a video. 2 years ago, I planted another infinity plant in my garden. And you know what I did? I kind of planted it and completely forgot about it. Didn't water it. I had 2 different bushes of it and kind of let the weeds grow all around it. And what this is a Goumi Berry bush. And I have 2 of them planted. And this year I am noticing I have some nice bright red berries on them, so they are producing, even though, like I said, I did nothing to deserve it. My understanding is that they can still flourish in poor soil, in partial shade, and are a nitrogen fixing plant. So, a lot of good things about them. And again, I love that you can just really neglect them and still get fruit. Now, these plants originate in Asia, but they do well in zones 4 to 9. In fact, I read on one site that the roots will even live in -20 Fahrenheit weather. So very, very hardy, which is important if you live in Michigan like me. And we've had some cold weather, but did not affect these plants. I just love that this plant, you can neglect it and it still does well. Now, here where I live in zone 5, the fruit begins to ripen sometimes in May, but it's kind of orangish colored then. It doesn't get really, really red and ripe until about the end of June. And if you pick a berry, let's say the end of May, it still might be pretty tart, kind of like a rhubarb. But if you wait until now when they're bright, bright red, they're really sweet. So let me show you. Oops, one more thing. When I made this video, the other parts, I sometimes say gummy bears or gummy berries instead of goumi. Sorry for the slip up. Can you see them back there? That's one of my gummies. But you can see, okay, all the grape expanding. And over here, we have the asparagus jungle. But I am getting some berries, so let's get a closer look. Can you see the red berries? I am getting some. So, I look a mess, I'm in the garden, but I'm going to try my first little gummy berry. Very juicy, sweet. Reminds me of something, but I can't think of what right now. But it does have a little seed. Now, some people might not like that little pit in the middle. It's kind of like a thin little pit. But you know, that's the way with a lot of fruits, right? I mean, cherries got pits too. The difference is that you can use a cherry pitter. And here, you're basically just using your teeth and tongue and spitting it out. But I think these are great. If I get enough of a bounty in a couple years, maybe I'll make some goumi jelly or some goumi jam. But you know what? I like just eating them fresh off the bush. So to me, this is a great thing to add to your infinity garden.